Welcome back to the Morning Blend. Well, it's so tempting when you see baby wildlife alone to want to help them. But just because mama isn't there at the time doesn't mean that they've been abandoned. Good people with the very best of intentions often want to jump in and help out.
Yeah, but it may not always be the best idea. So how do you know when to do something and when to do nothing at all? Joining us now from the Wisconsin DNR are Conservation Warden John Sinclair and Diane Robinson, a wildlife biologist. Welcome to the show, you guys.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, so okay, this is a great thing. We were talking during the break, and I think so many people have this similar story. When you're kids, you often find, especially baby bunnies or something like that, which you think are abandoned because they're all by themselves. So the child brings them home. I did it. You did it.
I did it. Thought I made a little house for them, gave them grass. They all died, and it was very sad.
Yeah. Mine lived,
but you have to be careful about kind of interceding and doing something with wildlife, right?
Yeah, very much. I mean, wild animals are they're built to survive on their own, or with minimal help from mom, and we're not necessarily the ones that know how to take care of them.
Why are rabbits? What's up with rabbits specifically? That so often people make that mistake because they seem like they've been abandoned. Is the mom just not around much?
No. So what happens is normally mom only visits the nest once or twice during the day.
Where is she?
She goes
She's
off
out
and
with the
does
girls.
her own thing, gets some food for herself, and then she'll come back. Really, it's a defense mechanism so that she's not traveling to the nest very much, so predators might not see her.
Okay.
Doesn't necessarily have the same scent associated with that nest if the young rabbits aren't moving around a whole lot in there. So she'll come in and take care of them, but then she'll go on. And ultimately, if you're worried that that the nest has been abandoned, what we actually suggest is putting pieces of grass kind of in a crisscross pattern over the nest, so that you can see whether or not mom has been back. So you put that crisscross pattern.
Moved.
Yep, and you leave for a while and then come back later. And if that crisscross pattern has been moved, which it probably has been, mom's been there and she's gone again, and the babies are just fine.
Okay.
That is a great idea, and I think that can save a lot of little bunny rabbits, right? What about other things, birds or things like that? How do you know and determine what sort of animals are in need of help and which ones you really should let lie?
Yeah, so each animal is going to be different. I mean, it's going to depend on, if it's a rabbit or if it's a bird or anything like that. There's a lot of different ways that wild animals fend for themselves when they're young. The best suggestion would be to call the DNR call line, or to call a wildlife rehabilitator within the area. If you go on the DNR website, you can actually type in rehab into our search engine, and you can come up with a whole bunch of different wildlife rehabilitators in the area. And you can call them, and a lot of times those rehabbers are going to be able to tell you what's going on based on that specific species.
So what's your role in all of this? Because a lot of people see you as being the law enforcement arm of the DNR. So what role do you have as it relates to wildlife?
I know people see the uniform and the badge, and sometimes they get a little intimidated, but really our goal is, as a team effort here at the DNR, is that we're doing what's best for the animals and we're doing what's best for people. And so we're trying to provide more resources for the public, because we know most people in Wisconsin love wild animals. They like seeing them, enjoying them, and they may not always know what to do if they see one that's injured, or they see one and they're not sure if it's orphaned or if it's not. And we want to make sure people have the ability to find the answers to those questions instead of taking them in, making them pets, which is illegal, which is where I come in. But really the main point is that it's not what's best for the animals, and it can be dangerous for humans to take in baby animals. So that's why we have these resources on our website, like Diane mentioned.
What, this time of year, what are we likely to encounter? Children out there or us on a walk? Are there certain types of animals that we're likely to see?
Rabbits. Rabbits are definitely one of those. Squirrels right now, squirrels actually are one of the earlier nesters. So I think they actually have their young in February and March, so you would actually be finding young squirrels right now. And even great horned owls, so raptors and hawks and owls and things like that, they're starting to
and turtles?
have young now too. You might find some turtles right now. Turtles are kind of in their own special
More like
area.
Later?
Yeah, well, and they don't really, mom doesn't necessarily take care of turtles and salamanders and things like that. She basically lays the eggs, lays the nest, and goes off on her own.
Good for her.
Right? It'd be nice sometimes. But yeah, they can take care of themselves really well right now.
Well, bottom line, why, in your opinion, both of you, is it important to keep wildlife wild?
For a variety of reasons. John already mentioned that is how animals are best suited to survive in the wild, and they do very well without our help. There's also a big factor with humans and potentially injuring humans as well. So leaving animals out there and leaving animals wild is overall there's a number of different reasons. So
because we can coexist, and I think people are well intentioned, but sometimes you can harm the animal, and you certainly don't want to bring harm to yourself or someone else by taking in animals.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And like we've said, I mean, there are wildlife rehabilitators who are trained and certified through the state who can help injured wildlife. So we're not saying let that injured hawk lay on the side of the road and suffer. We're saying here's some resources so that you don't take it home and think you're going to fix it yourself.
It's great.
Yep.
Well, you know the kids are walking around. If you see any animals, get on your phone. Here's the website that you can Google. So you don't just go to Google. Go to dnr.wi.gov. There's a list on there and phone numbers and things, I'm sure, as well. So you know exactly what to do if you encounter some injured wildlife. Thanks
Wonderful
so much for being
resources.
Yeah,
Thank
Good
you
to
for
see you
having
guys.
us.
I know
Appreciate it.
spring is almost here if you
Yeah.
guys are here, so I like that.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.